Hello everybody, my name is Zul and welcome to my Enb series for Skyrim. For more information, click here to see the introduction video and find out exactly what settings I'm using. In today's video, we are going to be looking at an ENB made by a mod author who is from China, I believe, according to his mod page. The language barrier makes it a little bit hard to get information on the mod, so stick around for the installation if you want to make sure you get everything right. This is a fairly new mod, but it is already fast becoming one of my favorite ENBs. The Gloomy War Era 4 ENB for Skyrim is absolutely amazing. It adds a darkness, a gloominess to the Elder Scrolls. It makes you feel like, you're at war, the world is going to end, things are hopeless. It makes the world dark and misty, so if you go into a dungeon, you are going to need a torch. So let's take a look at some of the shots of this ENB in action. Alright, so here is our first shot of the ENB. We are near the Guardian Stones, and you can sort of see that hazy, rustic look that the world has been given to. It's sort of a darkness that fell over the world. It reminds me a little bit of the atmosphere of Dark Souls. It really sets the tone for the world. You can sort of feel that this is a harsh land that's been through some struggles, with the haziness in the background, and the overall darkness that you see in the scene. Now, I've brightened it up a little bit from the game because YouTube will probably darken the rendering, but if you can compare it to this normal shot here, you'll see that the world looks a lot happier without the ENB installed. And this ENB is intended to look gloomy, so it does exactly what it's advertised for. It's probably one of my favorite ENBs, although I'm not a big fan of the black bars. You may have noticed those. In the settings, there is a way to remove those, but I don't cover ENB tweaks. You have to do that on your own. Maybe at the end of the video, I'll put a little clip on how to get rid of those, but for the most part, I don't cover how to change the ENBs. I just cover them in their natural state. If we look inside, it has that same sort of effect on the interior of this store here. It sort of glooms the whole place down without overpowering it. It's not compatible with a lighting mod for the interior, so the shadows are still the normal Skyrim kind of boring shadows, although they are quite a bit improved from the default. Now, this next scene shows off the ENB's intention probably the best, I would say. Just look at the gloominess, especially the atmosphere and the mountains in the background. They sort of loom in the ENB shot, whereas in the regular shot, not so much. The whole screen sort of looks level and plain, and it makes it look a bit more flat, whereas if we go back to the ENB here, we can see sort of a misty haze enveloping the world, and I just think it looks absolutely amazing. This is such a good ENB. Whiterun here on a cloudy day. We can see sort of the way the sun comes down, and it's an overcast sky, so you might think it would look a little overbearing, overcast with the sun peeking through, but in the vanilla game, the lighting's still a little bit more level. Now, if we compare that with the ENB again, right here, we will see that once again, we get that haziness, that rawness to the world. A lot of the colors have sort of faded and bled away, leaving us with this sort of gloomy, dire-looking scene. So it does darken the worlds, and this includes the nights. So we will take a look at a couple of night shots of the ENB. So right here, just again in Whiterun outside here, you can see that the visibility is fairly good. You can still see pretty much everywhere you want to go with the ENB installed. But for the most part, it's a bit darker and gloomier. We'll see right here, especially, the sheer difference. Now, if you're a fan of darker nights, which I definitely am, this ENB delivers such amazing darker nights, because it's not that it's really that hard to see, it's just that the nights themselves are darker and gloomier. Dungeons as well. This is without the ENB right here, and the brightness is all the way down to the bottom, so it's a little bit dark, but it still doesn't look as foreboding as with the ENB, where you have sort of a haze, a mist laying over there. So this looks like a scary dungeon. It's sort of makes you want to run around with a torch, because you never know what's going to come. I have one more dungeon scene here, again without the ENB. It looks pretty mystical, heading up to that word wall with the sconces there. But then when you add the ENB, the fire looks a bit more raw. The whole dungeon sort of phases and hazes out. If it wasn't for the black bars, I'd say this ENB would be pretty much perfect for me. Alright, let's talk installation. Now, this is a mod that's been uploaded very recently, and the mod author is not primarily an English speaker, so you could be forgiven if you don't fully understand his installation instructions. I kind of had to go over this a couple of times. But let's discuss what it says. Basically, you cannot use any of these lighting mods here. So don't use Project Reality, don't use Supreme Storms, don't use Realistic Lighting, don't use Enhanced Lighting and Effects. They will mess up your game. They're not compatible with the ENB. The mod author does recommend using a plugin called Shadows, so we might take a look at that, although I'm not 100% sure if that's going to be covered. If it is, it's going to be at the end of the video after we primarily just look at the ENB itself. It says to use the latest binaries, which is 2.51, so we're going to do that. So let's take a look at that now. To install the ENB, like all ENBs, we must head over to enbseries.com, or whatever it's called, ENB dev. So if you follow the link on the mod page, it'll bring you here. Click on the latest version, scroll down to the bottom, and click download. I've already done so. You're also going to want to download this mod. You're going to download it manually. I've already done that as well, so I have both of these files here. So we're going to extract these into folders here on our desktop using WinRAR or 7Z or something like that. It's totally up to you. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install the ENB series for Skyrim. So what we have to do is we have to go to our Skyrim folder. This is Steam Apps Commons Skyrim. We are not going to the data folder. That is for installing mods, and this is not the way you install the ENB mod. So open up ENB Series, open up the wrapper version, select everything that's in here, drag and drop. It'll ask you to overwrite a couple of things if you've installed an ENB before. Go ahead and click yes to all. So now the ENB mod itself is installed, and we have to install the Gloomy War era for ENB. So if we open up the preset, we will get this here. We're basically going to drag all of this and drop it into here. It's going to ask us to overwrite. Again, click yes to all for everything. But we're not quite done yet. If we open up the mod page and scroll down, we are going to have to figure out what settings we need to change. And that can actually be found on one of the mod author's linked pages. So visit the, where is it here? You can find the most detailed information here. So let's check that out now. If we take a look right here, this will show you what we have to change our ini files to. So this is the Skyrim's pref ini. Now we've covered this in other videos, I'm sure, and you should know how to do this by now. But if you don't, basically what we're going to do is we're going to select all this stuff here. Yeah, it's going to show us the original text because this entire page is not written in English. It's written in some sort of Asian language that I'm unaware of what it's called, unfortunately. But we're going to copy that. We're going to basically just get a new text document here so we don't have to keep that page open. We'll call it F. Doesn't really matter what you call it. We will paste that information there. We're going to use that later. Now, we got to edit the Skyrim prefs ini. So it's time to open that up. Allow me to do that now. The Skyrim's pref ini can be found in C user's name, my documents, games, Skyrim. We're going to have it right here. And I'm going to go ahead and edit it with Notepad++. This is a free tool that you can download that is meant for editing things like ini files. And essentially what you're going to do is you're going to click Control F. You're going to basically copy bfloat, point render, etc, etc, etc. Click V, find next. It'll find it, and then you will change it to the corresponding thing. Do this for all of these. Mine is already done because I've covered a lot of these in other ENB videos, so we don't need to worry about that. One final thing you gotta remember, make sure your anti-aliasing is off in the Skyrim launcher. Just double check that that's off there, and you should be good to go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Leave a comment telling me what your opinion is on the little black bars that some ENBs are including. Do you like it? I personally don't. If you do like it, I'd really like to know why. Also, consider subscribing if you'd like to keep up to date on all of my different modding videos. I cover KOTOR, Fallout, Dragon Age, and now Skyrim ENB videos. You can also hop back over to the hub video for this, the intro to ENBs, to check out a bunch of different ENBs I am covering. Last but not least, please check out my Knights of the Old Republic Let's Play. I put a lot of work into that, and it's apparently not that bad. I use it to practice my editing and other such things, so go and check it out. Sorry for blathering for such a long time on the outro. It's been kind of a long video, so I'm gonna let you go now. I have been Zul. As always, I hope that you have an excellent day.